Good day to you, folks of YouTube. I am your host, Vert343, welcoming you back to part 2 of my theory on what Heaven's role will be in Doom Eternal. First off, a massive shout out to my commenters for their input and for pointing out the few things that I did get wrong in the last video. For one, the character I referenced as the Angel is actually called the Khan Makir, as told to me by two different sources, one of whom referred back to the channel Midnight, who also does Doom lore videos. The other thing to note is that Hugo Martin, the director of Doom Eternal, confirmed that the trailer voice is actually the voice from the start of Doom 2016. Secondly, a massive shout out to you, the viewers, for the support on the last video, and a quick reminder to like, comment, and subscribe to see more from me. And with that out of the way, on to the video. The first important thing to look at is the lithograph The Gift of Argent Energy, which consists of angel-like beings that look different to the Makir, gifting Argent power to a being that wears armor suspiciously different from that of all the other humanoid beings in the background, in what looks to be Argent D'Nur. This is a massive breakthrough. This lithograph alone links so many things together. Firstly, behind that being having Argent Energy gifted to them is a being slouched over and dressed like a priest of some sort. I have two theories for who this priest is, and only one of them actually seems viable, but that is completely off topic and nothing to do with heaven, so I'll save it for another video. What is actually important to clarify is that neither the Khan Makir or the Throne Guy are anything to do with heaven, and so we have absolutely no reason to talk about them whatsoever. What we can talk about, however, are the voice lines and who exactly is saying them. As I have pointed out in my previous video, the person speaking them is definitely aligned with heaven. However, we have to toss out everything I previously said besides that, as they are now confirmed to be the same person. There are three main candidates for the person speaking the lines. Number 1 is the Seraphim, number 2 is whatever god rules over the Doom universe, and number 3 is a bit of a long shot, but it's a being similar to the race of Argent D'Nur, who are powerful but not necessarily aligned with heaven. First off, the Seraphim. The Doom 2016 lines make perfect sense through the eyes of the Seraphim. However, the Doom Eternal E3 story trailer lines make absolutely no sense through their eyes. Why would the being that is most likely the Slayer's biggest advocate suddenly switch sides, and how could that even be written to work? There are two ways I could see the Seraphim who blessed the Slayer turning against him being written. Number 1 is that the Slayer is now interfering with some sort of plan that they already had in place, which they were hoping the Slayer would keep his nose out of. This plan likely involves the death of the human race besides the Slayer. The second way I could see it being written is that the Seraphim has been corrupted or at least manipulated by whatever god rules over the Doom universe. If the Seraphim was to be turned against the Slayer, I could see this being a very interesting fight, possibly even the final boss of Doom Eternal, as it would be a less powerful being than a god, but still powerful, in the sense that they would look like a nigh insurmountable force. This would be a more believable boss fight than the god in question, as it would get many less people's nipples in a twist. But on the other hand, if it is the god of the Doom universe, why would they have been so eager for the Slayer to rip so many demons to shreds, especially if they had a plan that required the human race to die off? This makes even less sense if you consider that Mars is destroyed in Doom Eternal anyway, so it wasn't even like he wanted Mars to be saved. What it could be is that he wanted Samuel Hayden to acquire the Crucible, so that a Hell Portal could be opened up on Earth, allowing for a demonic invasion to crush the planet. Though this would mean he would have to have had the foresight to see that not only would Hayden be smart enough to get the Crucible off the Slayer, but that he would then take it back to Earth instead of just bringing more people to Mars. And then he would have also had to have not had the foresight to realise that this will end up with the Slayer returning to Earth, and then not listening to his warning. In this case, we may end up fighting an incompetent god at the end of Doom Eternal, which would be quite fun in my opinion. Option 3 is a being such as another Wraith, who isn't necessarily aligned with heaven. This one sounds very unlikely, however it is entirely possible that another being, maybe even a potential fourth wraith, wanted to see the demons torn to shreds. In the eyes of a potential fourth wraith that never went to Argent d'Honneur, the quote from the start of Doom 2016 makes sense, as it would be about getting vengeance on the demons, a trait which would be shared by both the Slayer and the potential fourth wraith. The lines from the Doom Eternal story trailer, however, they make a little bit less sense than they would coming from the other characters, that is. First off, the lines such as "You will bring down the heaven's wrath, and it is their time to give penance" would make sense under the context of "it is written." However, the line "they are no longer your people to save" just seems kinda off. It goes against the whole vengeance motif set up in Doom 2016. However, these aren't the lines that fit the least. The lines that really get to me about this one are "Why are you here? And you are but one man." These lines make little sense from a being that shares in the Slayer's pure, unadulterated hatred for demons. "Why are you here" could be explained simply with "I want to kill demons," and surely a being like a Wraith that has seen the power the Slayer wields would know that he is a lot more than just one man with a bottomless arsenal and the power to never reload. Quickly changing the topic to talk about the gameplay, I have got one thing I didn't discuss at all in the last video to talk about. Will the angels fight the demons if they meet, or will they be allies? If they do fight each other, it doesn't have massive implications outside of the gameplay, but it does give you a reason to target stronger enemies first just to let the rest infight. But if they don't infight, well, that means heaven is aligned with hell, which has some pretty big lore implications in that it's practically, in the words of Ghostbusters, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. Seriously though, the implications of heaven working with hell is that the angels can now, in a way, be considered a demonic force, but more importantly than that, a force of evil. Heaven being a force of evil in the Doom universe would leave a massive power vacuum, seeing as there would be no overriding force of good to fight off the massed evil forces. Except, well, the motherfucking Doomslayer, and any armies aligned with him. However, if this is the case, this might be the setup for a future Doom game riding off of Doom Eternal, with the Night Sentinels becoming the overriding force of good led by the Doomslayer to fight against Heaven and Hell as the massed evil forces. This would be interesting from a lore perspective as well as a meta perspective, because I'm fairly sure most religions don't want to see heaven portrayed as evil, though it would be funny to watch all the anti-video game Christians get their nipples in a twist when a franchise like Doom takes a pretty good stab at them. If Heaven does join forces with Hell as a force of evil, we might just get to see more lore around the Night Sentinels, and get to see them in action fighting alongside the Doomslayer in future games. Hell, we could even get to see the Night Sentinels champion as a playable character for a co-op campaign in Doom Eternal 2, Demonic Boogaloo, which would be downright awesome. They've already confirmed single-player DLC for Doom Eternal, so we might get it in this very game. Thank you all for watching. The support on the last video has been absolutely amazing. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and BFG blast that hell icon to see more from me. I have been your host, Vert343, kicking demon ass and signing off. Peace out, gentlemen.